How's it going? My business law or business regulations class. Welcome back to week number 2. As you can tell, I am in a hoodie, so a little more casual than I usually am, but I will say it is a GNTC hoodie, so I'm not completely out of pocket here. But anyhow, that said, forgive my attire, I guess is what I'm trying to mention. I did wear some casual dress-up shoes, though. I mean, let's see, where's it at? There it is. So, anyhow, and that's my entire that's the fit for the day. So, here's what I got for you today. So, these weekly update videos are really casual, as you can already tell. A lot of times I'm going to make a cup of coffee and just chat with you for about 10 to 15 minutes. That's all they are. A lot of you guys are second-time students with me, so you're very familiar. Most of you who have had me have either had me in principles of management, which I do not want you to, let's see, set the expectation that this class is going to be exactly the same because it's a little more challenging. Principles of management is sort of your first business class. This is now you're getting deeper into the roots here of business. And law is a very important part. Business regulations is very important to understand. So we're going to be doing a little more pushing. I'm going to do a little more pushing of you to get more out of you in this. So I want you to understand that even though in the first round, you guys probably thought I was a great instructor, and I'm glad you did, and I appreciate all the comments. You might not like me this semester because I push you a little further here. I want you to think. I want you to expand. I want you to move up in Bloom's taxonomy, start analyzing, start creating your arguments versus just responding and saying, this is a great post, Mr. Argueta. This is wonderful. I love it. I want you to critically think now, okay? So last week in our discussion, we gave you a feel of what to expect when it comes to what a case study is. Case studies will be around for the rest of your business career. Okay, so you're going to see these pop up all the time. And really what it does, it gives us a baseline. It gives us a precedence. You should have read that in chapter 1. It gives us sort of an understanding of what, it sort of allows us to know what has been done in the past, so what we can do now in a situation that's similar. In law, as you read, there's a prima facie, which is basically establishing an argument. And when you become a lawyer, if you become a lawyer, if that's the route you would choose to take, these are terms that you will use all the time. You will have to understand these terms. And what you're trying to do is create a case. And what you do with that is you look at what the results are of similar cases. You do a case study. You say, what did we learn from this? What was said? What was decided? So it sort of gives you the arguments and the outcomes, and that way you can build your own case and say, well, I look at it this way, I look at it that way, based on facts, based on precedents. Okay? For the most part, I'm not going to be very harsh on the grading the first one because we hadn't had this discussion yet. But I also want you to know that although I care for you and as an instructor, I love you dearly, be warned, I'm going to challenge you because I want you to grow. So, and I'm not doing this to be a mean instructor or professor. I'm doing this because you will be leaders in the business world, and you will be leaders because you earned it. And I am proud of everyone that goes through this process because you earned this. No one gave it to you. I'm not giving you this diploma. You're going to earn it. And I want you to be proud of that at the end of it all. So, so when we talk about the first week, our first case study in regards to our lesson, we looked at forgive me, but I'm still with this little dry cough, so I apologize for that. I just finished my first video with principles, and essentially it dried me out, and now I'm trying to recuperate. The first case study was Wilson versus Southwest Airlines, and we looked at bona fide occupation qualifications. And you read the case, you made the decision. I'll be reading through those discussions and grading them. This is the weekly video you respond to, so you can respond to this when it's over, when this videos posted. Week number 2, though, we take a different turn. In week number 2, we go to Ali versus Mount Sinai. And this is an interesting case because we're talking about Title VII. This nurse had a discrepancy, I guess, or a challenge or a argument, and she felt she was being discriminated on based on Title VII, which I, in your discussion, want you to understand, because if you become an HR rep, this is going to be a major part of what you deal with. Title VII, right? So in Title VII, and I posted it in there so you can know, but I want you to understand it completely. What Title VII is. Title VII is the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now, that continues to evolve, but this is where it starts. And what Title VII does, it protects employees and applicants for a job to being discriminated based on certain stated conditions, based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, and that will continue to expand as we go on. But those are the bases on what it is. So the EEOC, right, will govern this, will guide it, and watch out for it, right? And so now we're looking at other things, of course, race, color, religion, sex, sexual harassment, pregnancy, national origin discrimination. It continues to grow as we develop as a nation. So I want you to understand that this is an ever-evolving process. So what's interesting about law is that laws and presidents are usually from the past, our past stuff, but we continue to evolve. We can't continue to stay there. So as we evolve, we'll see a lot of these things come up and being challenged. You'll see it being challenged in the Supreme Court and the court system. In chapters 1 and 2, you saw how our courts are established, how we have Supreme Court, how we have local courts, how we have all these different courts to deal with issues. So in this particular case, we look at a person saying, I have been discriminated against based on my color, on who I am, my culture, what I was born in this culture. This is my race, and this is how we dress. People from a different race weren't discriminated against because of the way they dress, and you pointed it out to me. Even though the guidelines stated this is the dress code, no matter what you are, it doesn't matter your race, your color, your religion, your sex, your national origin, this is what the expectation is. I don't want to give you more because I don't want to influence your process of thinking. A lot of people have emailed me, where do I find the case studies? They're in the ebook. The ebook is located in your McGraw-Hill. And you can go to that chapter and you go to case studies and it'll tell you where it's at. So if you're looking to go into HR, business law, even management in every level, Title VII will be a major part of it. So please make sure you understand it clearly. Okay, I will be reading through these discussions and seeing what you post. It takes me about a week to catch up, so I apologize because, of course, we had school close was yesterday, and the day before that was a holiday. So this, of course, is going out a little later than I wished it would. But next week we look at Rico versus Di Stefano, which is a decision based on affirmative action. So please make sure you educate yourself in Chapter 5 for next week on what affirmative action actually is. Don't just make your assumptions because someone told you or because you heard an argument. Educate yourself on what affirmative action is. Affirmative action is not lowering the standards because of a race or sex or anything else. Also, one of the things that people bring up all the time is they think it's based on a color or a race. It's not. The number one benefited group in affirmative action has been women. So I want you to understand these from an educated perspective and not just from hearsay. So please make sure you're taking time to understand these concepts. This is a very important chapter. It's a very important group of chapters that I would like for you to really focus on. So take your time, develop your argument. Give me solid arguments. because I am going to be a little harsher. Okay. Other than that, it's freezing, guys. It's cold out there. My throat dries up like this. I got to drink some water, probably some coffee. But other than that, stay warm. I have the fireplace running all night. It's freezing out there. My heater cannot keep up with this temperature. Um, my house isn't even that old. It's like 10 years old, but the heating system they installed, I don't know what the problem is. But either way, someone asked me that's been in my class prior what happened to my plant. I was not arguing, complaining that my plant was dying in my office. I ended up giving it to a coworker, and it's thriving in our office. So it is confirmed that I do not belong with plants. Plants are not my friends. So I think I'm just not a plant guy. So sorry guys. That plant would have died in my office. So I gave it away, and now it's thriving. It looks beautiful in someone else's office. So um, haven't done much this week. It's just cold. It's cold. I left Chicago for a reason, because I didn't want to be in the cold, and here we are. So um, that's about it. Stay positive. Don't hate me. I love being your favorite teacher. So let's keep it going. Let's just get you challenged a little further. Let's make it happen. Case studies as our discussions, but we still got this connection going. So don't let me down. I want to know what's going on in your life. Talk to you soon. Take care. Till next week, my friends.